Okay, here we have a 1997 KOBELCO CK90UR 4.9 ton 5 section hydraulic crane. Tex Equipment's PO number is 3164. Let's see if we can find the serial number. Here we go. Serial number YA00190. Manufacturer December 97. Well, I guess nobody got their hands on it until 98 then, did they? Okay. Go into the cab here. Let's see, what do we want to see first? Okay, get up here. Pull the dash here first. Get our hour meter. What's going to work there? More light? No, that's... There. 3193.8. 3193.8 is our instrument panel. Have a glow plug indicator, battery light, water temperature, water level, air cleaner restriction, oil pressure, bunny rabbit for high-speed travel, low fuel warning light, fuel gauge, water temperature gauge. Here we have the switch that turns on our work lights, ignition switch, and we have our sack here for the windshield washer. Here we have our handle for our hand throttle. Coming around on the right hand side, let's go ahead and get our load chart here. We see our load chart. This gives us the distance from the Rotex out, and there's a working radius there, and the boob length, how long the boom is extended, and what your lift is. Also notice it gives you a static lift and a traveling lift. Here is the monitor. It shows you all the functions of the monitor. Travel switch, lifting display. If it's a 1-wire, 2-wire, or 4-wire display, it's telling you. Overwind warning lamp, operation display, all that's right there. So you can figure out what all of the lights are on the monitor here. Monitor also tells you, if this light's on, obviously, it's measuring the boom length extending. This is measuring the boom degree. This is measuring how far the boom is extending from the Rotex. And then this here one is measuring how far the hook is from the ground. This is your 1, 2, or 4 wire. And there's your readouts there for the percentages, the degrees, and the lifting tons. You have your override switch with the key, and then you have a rocker here that you switch this so after it goes out the first section, so it tells the computer you're going to be working in sections 3, 4, and 5. Then you have a spring-loaded one where you can override the anti-2 block so that you can lift up the snatch block out here. And we'll show that when it's running so that the self-storing snatch block will function. Okay, here we have a boom degree chart. At 40%, 50%, at 50%, at 14 meters above the earth, at 50 degrees, you would have a height of 11.5 meters above the ground. And it tells you where each section of the crane will be, and there's the hook. Okay, and there it tells you how many meters out. So all that works in conjunction with your load table. Here we have our level indicator when you first set the machine before the lift to tell you how close your machine is to being level. We have a foot throttle down here on the floor besides our hand throttle. This is our track drives here, and then here you have your high and low speed, which KOBELCO has very standard on their crawlers, on their excavators. Let's see what else we got. Standard windshield. Like an excavator, you can open it up. There's your release on the left side. Here's your release on the right side, and it rolls back in the track so you can get more air. Although I believe these KOBELCOs have air conditioning. Yeah, the KOBELCOs have air conditioning. It's the Komatsus that don't have the air conditioning. Okay, here we have our big sunroof up here. Okay, on the left side, we put this pedestal down, just like an excavator. Jump in. You have your horn button on the end here. We'll be testing that. You have your mono AM radio, your windshield wiper wash control, your air conditioning and heater fan, and your temperature for your air conditioning or heat. The lower window comes out, as with most excavators. The lower glass then would be stored here behind the seat. Pop those two, slide those two down in there, and it slides up in here, and that's where you can keep your glass so it doesn't get broken. Okay. I think that's all we can show you in here for now until after we have it operating. When we get it started, we'll come back in here and watch the load monitor. I'm pretty sure I've got all the functions on that with you. Then we'll go around the do the undercarriage. Here we have a broken piece of glass. This very corner here has been hit, and this is plastic, not glass here. This window here that goes over the outside, and you can see there's a crack in it. It's like plexiglass. So, guy could put some glue on that on the inside. That probably will stop that crack from traveling. This one's real glass here on the door. This panel here is plexiglass. That's real glass. You got your antenna up there. All the other glass is good. Don't see no cracks in any of it. While we're here, let's get the undercarriage on the left side. Okay, left side, we got our idler on the front here. Nice and flat, looks good. Got lots of rail height here, as you can see. Notice that these rubber track pads are bolt-on, 4 bolts per pad. So obviously your steel track pad there is 100% brand new because they've always had rubber pads on it. If you don't want the rubber pads on, you can take them off. That way you'll always have them. Most of the time the cranes don't get into working on rock, but if you had a job site where you're working in rock a lot, you're going to tear it up and destroy those rubber track pads. You could unbolt them. Here's a view of the front roller. They're pretty flat all the way across. Looks good. I don't see any ridge on it. Top carrier rollers. KOBELCO runs 2 of them. They're pretty flat. They've never been seized up in the mud. That looks good. Yep, both good. Look at the rear roller. The front and rear take the most amount of hill. Those always show you the most amount of wear. It's nice and flat across it. There's no big dish in there. It looks good. Pins and bushings. Let's see real good on this guy right here, maybe. There. He feels real good. I can't physically see anywhere with the naked eye. I can't really feel anywhere. There again, these machines don't travel far. Look at how thick the sprocket teeth are. have to throw a brand new one up there to measure any difference. I mean, that's massive.